If you don't know about the concept of the Overton window, please look it up because our latest poll just gave it a test. Find out what Americans think now about reparations. First, a note. Sometimes the order questions are asked is highly important in understanding true public opinion about a topic, and transparency about question order, as well as everything else, is something Rasmussen Reports is firmly committed to. We're covering the questions here in the order that they were asked. 38% of American voters now somewhat support taxpayer-funded reparations to the descendants of American slaves. 19% strongly support, and only 42% strongly oppose. Black voters most strongly support reparations, 66% of them in fact, but 25% of black voters don't support them, and 13% strongly oppose. Other minority voters support them at 44%, 21% strongly, and white voters largely oppose reparations by 61%, 48% strongly. Only 15% of white voters strongly support them. Here's Party. 18% of Republicans support them, 11% strongly, and 35% of independents, 16% strongly. But 60% of Democrats support reparations, 30% strongly. 70% of voters who strongly approve of Biden support reparations, and 10% of those who strongly disapprove of Biden approve of them. That's the widest split anywhere in the demographics, so it's easy to see how a prominent public figure supporting a controversial topic might be a key tool of the Overton window shifters, whoever they may be. Now, previously, we asked the question as only a yes-no, and here's the chart showing the change over time for yes responses. This is just fascinating. Has there been a lot of coverage about reparations in the news that I don't know about? I personally thought it was a relatively esoteric topic, but sure enough, look at the inexorable march to the left on this issue. Even Republicans aren't immune, having gone from 8 points to now 18 points in only 3 years. But look at Democrats. They've gone from 32 points to 60 points in just a little over 4 years. I don't often post memes, but when I do, there is truth to them. The governor of California, Gavin Newsom, formed a committee that recently released a preliminary plan to pay roughly $250,000 to each descendant of a slave in California. Do you support or oppose this plan? 36% support the plan, 18% strongly. This is down 2 points of overall support from the previous question, and might not seem much different of a question, but it gives voters a chance to reflect on the fact that reparations are making a tangible step towards reality, as well as a chance to change their answer. As a result, 3% of Republicans wave off, and 6% more now strongly oppose, and 5% of independents drop their support as well, but Democrats basically hold firm. Final question, and this time we layer in the aspect of negative real-world personal consequences for choosing to follow through with reparations. It has been estimated that the California plan to pay slavery reparations would cost over $500 billion, more than the entire annual budget of California, and would require tax increases in the state. Would you support or oppose a plan like this in your state? 29% still support the plan, 14% strongly, and only 50% strongly oppose the plan. White voters are down to 24% now, from 31% in the first question, and Hispanic voters have dropped 9 points to 35%. But black supporters are still at 56%, a majority, with 33% still strongly supporting them. Now keep in mind that in this instance, the black voter is theoretically potentially receiving $250,000 check, and only 33% of them strongly support the plan, while 30% at least somewhat oppose it. If you took black voters out of the equation, however, support would be at about 26%, with only 12% strongly supporting reparations. About 68% of non-black voters would oppose the reparations. Now, here's Party. Republicans are down to 13%, but a stubborn 9% still strongly support reparations. Independents are at 27%, and Democrats are now at 48%, finally less than a majority. But again, only 22% of Democrats strongly support the measure, 43% of Democrats oppose it, but only 25% strongly. So, back to the issue of the Overton window. Where is this rapid move to the left on reparations coming from? Well, I'm not in the business of telling you what to think, but here are 2 clues. By income, it's the highest earners that are most likely to support reparations, though there is an understandable tick up among the under $30,000 crew. We showed how white voters had the lowest support levels, so it isn't really an issue of white guilt, financial guilt, or luxury beliefs, perhaps. But look at age now. By a 2-to-1 margin over middle-aged voters and a 4-to-1 margin over voters 65 and over, 18 to 39-year-olds are more likely to strongly support a tangible reparations plan that would increase their own taxes. I'll tell you right now, having looked back at our other polls, that the biggest shift is coming from the 18 to 39-year-olds. In 2018, only 23% supported reparations, not even twice as much as voters 65 and over. But again, here they are almost 4 times as likely as older voters to support a reparations plan in their own state, and almost 5 times as likely to strongly support it. Critical race theory opponents need to take a very close look at this polling. Now, whether you support or oppose a plan in your state that would pay reparations to slave descendants and increase your taxes drastically, there's something in this video for you. Please take a second to click like so we get a YouTube algorithm boost, and consider subscribing if you haven't. If you know someone personally who needs to learn from this video, we would also greatly appreciate you sharing the link. Thanks for watching.